my son's favorite color.
Anybody here?
The teacher's here. How are you?
Good. Early, huh?
I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
I said we're early.
Yeah, we're early. We're going to start in about 10 minutes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was here on time. So I'll
Perfect.
mute myself and come back when we start.
Good morning, attendees. This is Chris Alston. We're going to start in about 6 minutes. So at 9 a.m. we'll start. I'll start sharing my screen. So for now, get your coffee, hang out. See you in 5 minutes. Good morning, everybody. Whoever's there, good morning. Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm doing super fantastic. How's everybody else? I'm drinking my coffee. So what else, you know?
It's a good way to start.
I got up this morning around 4:40. So for right now is like halfway through the day, it feels like.
Is that normal for you?
Yeah, I mean, I try to exercise 5 to 6 and I had to meet some crews at 8 a.m. across town. So I had to go take care of a couple of things.
All right. So again, I will be in the background for you if you need me. I'll be on the KWRI leadership call too, but I'll, you know, if you need me, let me know. And I think you know how to do this because we ran through it. Okay.
Perfect. And I have Hannah on, she's my partner. And so she's going to be making sure that there's anything going on. She'll stop me.
Okay. And then I put a couple of notes in the chat room already for everybody. You've already got 15 people on, so you're going to have a good class.
What? They must have thought someone else was teaching this morning. I don't know.
Which reminds me, please also, for those who don't know how famous you are, if you'll introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background too, that'd be great.
Infamous. Or maybe I could like quote like a now playing on Friday or whatever. I don't know.
I would take your autograph.
Well, I take yours. I mean, if we're being honest, right?
They're both worth so much.
Well, you got to be on the leadership call. So, I mean, I'm happy I'm on this one instead of a leadership call.
Exactly.
Is that for the whole region?
It's the whole world.
Ah, wow. Well, hey, well, you go and you do that. Okay. That's what we have you for, right?
Yeah.
You can go glean all the information and share it with us, right?
And then if you just like, we've got like 1 minute left, but if you know, go ahead and get started at 9 o'clock for everybody who's on time, and there'll be, of course, more people who will jump in. You've got 18 people already.
Fantastic. I paid them. I told them that there's like a drawing for $100 or something. I don't know.
They might hold you to it.
Or I invited my whole team. So I got already 8 of them are from my team. No,
there you go. All right. Well, again, if you need anything, just let me know. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks. See you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is. Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
I am Chris. If you are on the call, feel free to just mute yourself, and then you can unmute yourself if you have any questions. So that will allow the background music or background noise. If someone's playing gangster rap, like I would be in the background, it allows us not all to enjoy it. Because if you do, I'm gonna start singing along, and then I won't be teaching. But anyway, so we got about one more minute and to get ourselves up and running and going. So I appreciate everybody being here this morning. I have been up since 4:40 this morning, and that's my normal time of getting up. It's about 4:40, 4:45, and then I do a workout from 5 to 6. So I've already busted out 4 or 5 miles of running, and I had to go meet some construction crews on a site. Now, construction is not essential. However, construction is essential if you're dealing with like health and safety issues. And we got a shower pan that's cracked and water's flowing down the wall. So I had to bring the crew out and meet this morning and solve that. So I was able to get up early and do what we're doing. So, but I appreciate everybody going to come on today. I'm going to be sharing the screen for our class today, and I won't be able to see your guys' questions. However, Hannah is on the call. Hannah's my partner, and she will be looking at the questions and interrupting me at any particular time to be able to answer questions that would be pertaining to the subject we're talking about. If the question could be cataloged or if the question can be answered by her, she'll quickly answer it as well, because she and I, she is my partner, so we work on every single one of our transactions together. So she will be able to answer questions, or she'll parking lot it for the end of the course in order for us to keep it going. But if it's relevant at the particular time, she'll stop me and we'll go ahead and answer the question. So thank you so much to Hannah. Appreciate that. And again, my name is Chris Alston. I am an agent out of the Silicon Valley office of Keller Williams. I've been with Keller Williams 17 or 18 years now. And what I previously with Keller Williams, I've been, I was with a small regional brokerage for years ago. Before Keller Williams, it was Alon Pinnell, and I came to Keller Williams. I was a manager, team leader with Keller Williams for 10 years. And people laugh because 10 years is like a lifetime being a manager, but I've been a manager in our Campbell location and the Cupertino location. I helped incubate when our office launched the San Jose and South San Jose, and I helped incubate and launch the Palo Alto and the, I can't even remember the other one. There's another one that we did. I can't even remember, but anyway, Monterey or something like that. But I retired from that 7 years ago. I'm an agent now. I am a mega agent with a team of 7, and we're based out of Silicon Valley. I'm a Keller Williams University national instructor. I don't teach as much anymore because I did when I was in leadership, but I'm not in leadership anymore. So now I run a team of 7. We have myself, my business partner, who's Hannah, who's also on the call. We have transaction coordinators. We have 2 buyers agents, listing specialists, and an operations manager. So our goal this year before everything occurred was about 60 million. We're not sure what we're going to be right now through the end of the year. But I don't know. I mean, I'm crazy busy right now. So it's going to kind of be exciting to talk to everybody because our team, we've had no layoffs. We have several full-time employees, and we still work solidly 8-9 hours a day, and we're overwhelmed with the amount of business we have. So without any further ado, again, my name is Chris Alston. I'm an agent with the Keller Williams Silicon Valley office here in Campbell. I'm gonna go ahead and get ourselves going. Wait, I see a couple chats. If I need anything, nope, looks like I am good. Good morning to everybody. Let's go ahead and get ourselves started. All right, so we should be able to be seeing my screen. So if there's any issues, Hannah, just let me know if my screen isn't sharing, because today we're going to be talking about ways to grow or to start our business. So we're going to talk about prospecting, which is one of the most important and near and dear things to me as an agent, because in real estate, I remember when I first started in real estate, I was a loan officer years ago, and being a loan officer years ago, I was at Bank of America and Washington Mutual, and I remember I decided I wanted to be in real estate. And when I decided I wanted to get into real estate, I would go to work, and sometimes I wouldn't even know what to do. I'd have nothing to do. And I remember my girlfriend at the time, who ended up being my wife and now my ex-wife, she would say, I'd go to work and I'd come home from work at 5 o'clock, and she'd say, how was work today? And I said, it was amazing. It was great. but I didn't do anything. I sat in this little tiny office with 4 of us, and I sat on my computer, and all I did is I learned. I just read every book I could. I did everything I could. There's no classes back then. I mean, we took 1 class a week, and they said we had the best education out there. But I realized that I was busy, but I wasn't busy doing what I needed to do in order to create business, which is lead generation. I was doing lead servicing, or in fact, I was actually playing video games on my computer because I could turn the screen towards the door and no one could see, but I was actually playing like a game called Civilization. That was like 17 years ago. So it's not like it's turn-based. So I wasn't doing much, but I felt like I went to work every day and I went home, but no one ever taught me what was so important. I thought I needed to be the best real estate agent out there. And that was the most important thing, where I had to know everything about contracts. I had to know everything about putting a sign up and filling out contracts and talking to someone. But I never realized the most important thing was lead generation, was talking to somebody. And Gary Keller, when he wrote the book, I'm grabbing it really quick. When he wrote the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, by wonderful little tabs, he interviewed 25 of the top real estate agents. He wrote this when I joined Keller Williams, and he stated the most important thing is lead generation. When the shift occurred, he said the most important thing is to be in front of people who could make a decision to use you at that moment, which means they say, yes, I can work with you, or yes, I want to work with you, or no, I don't. Again, the most important thing is being in front of somebody that can say yes at the moment right now. Because if all I'm doing is talking to somebody and just saying, hey, real estate, real estate, real estate, that matters, of course, because we're trying to grow our database, and our database is so important, right? Our business is our database. But being able to be in front of people, decision makers who could make the decision to use you or not, is more important now than any other time in your career. So yes, lead generation is most important, but you need to track how many people have the opportunity to say, yes, I want to work with you, or no, I don't want to work with you, so that you are indeed doing what you need to do. Because if you show up for work and you're not one person that day was able to say they did want to work with you or didn't want to work with you, then you could just consider yourself unemployed for that day. You just didn't do anything.
Good morning, this is Yvonne.
And if you are not working.
Hi, Yvonne. This is Brian Hornley with Inside Real Estate, KB Core. I got a voicemail. I didn't know who called. I couldn't make out the name.
Oops,
Oh.
I think someone is.
Come on, you guys mute yourself.
Followed up with you, but I look
Who's
forward
ever eating and on?
Great. Let's see
What
if I know how to
product?
mute.
Um,
Don't
I
forget
got
to
an
mute
call
yourself,
Hey, Yvonne.
everybody.
I can hear your
over
conversation.
It looks like
For muting yourself. That's fantastic. So again, the most important thing that we need to do on a daily basis is to lead generate, but to get people in a position where they have the ability to say, yes, I want to work with you, or no, I don't. Because today we're going to be talking about growing our business. It's the most important thing. I talk about it every single day. We have regular calls with the team every morning at 8 a.m., another one before lunch. Then we have an all call at 3 o'clock. And every day you can ask the members of my team, how often do I talk about lead generation? And I talk about it every day, to the point where I get grumpy, to the point where it's like, frickin' Chris, shut up, because that's all I'm talking about. Because in order for us to succeed or to grow or to survive this market, we need to master lead generation. Forget about everything else. I'm not sure what else we're teaching in this class. I don't know. It's funny because Ignite, I helped write Ignite, the original Ignite when it came out, but I don't know the second iteration of Ignite, but it looks amazing. But if you don't do anything else all day, just do lead generation. If you don't learn contracts, who cares? Just do lead generation, because you can call and ask Mike. You can call and ask Rob. You can call and ask your team leader, how to fill out the contract. But if you have no clients, then it doesn't matter. You could be the best contract filler outer ever in the world, but if you got no clients, you got nothing. So today we're going to be talking about lead generation for buyers and for sellers. Now the thought of connecting with our clients is we're going to describe what prospecting is and how it contributes to your lead generation efforts. Like, what is prospecting? Now, there's 2 types of prospecting, right? I could either ask someone if they want to buy or sell with me, or I can mail them a bunch of crap and hope they call me. I don't really think that's lead generation. I think of that as like marketing or passive. I want to make sure that I can say something and you immediately will say, yes, I want to work with you, or no, you don't want to work with me. So if we take a look at what prospect and marketing is, prospect and marketing, there's two different ideas, right? Marketing is mainly a bunch of crap. Prospecting is talking to people. That is what it fuels our economic engine, as we say in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. If you haven't read this, read it. It's so important. Even if you, because right now, what else do you have to do? I mean, we have all day long. Either we should be showing property or trying to find clients. I showed property yesterday and the day before, and I got to tell you, it's kind of strange because I'm showing up with, we've got our masks on and we've got to fill out the PEAD form for every property we're looking at, and we got to go in and they can't see your face, and so we go outside and I try and take it off so they could see me smile and I could connect with them. So, in understanding the Ignite material, the most important thing is prospecting and marketing, because once you capture the business, capture the name, you can put them into as leads or you can put them in as contacts, and then you can cultivate them. Too often when we'll meet someone, I know that a lot of times we'll lead generate, we'll get a hold of somebody. I know we can't door knock right now because of the shelter in place, but we'll meet somebody and they'll say, I'm not going to sell for like 2 years. And we go, oh man. And we think it's a loss, and we think we're not, that it's not a good thing. And we realize that is a good thing. Now the idea is, if the person wants to buy or sell right now, that's important, right? I need a buyer and a seller right now. Fantastic. But if the person doesn't want to buy or sell right now, how can that still be a good thing? Now, and I can't see your guys' questions, but I mean, how could it be a good thing if they don't want to buy for another 2 or 3 years? Well, we add them to our database and we drip to them. We talk to them on a regular basis. And when they're ready to buy or sell, they choose us. Now, we're always consistently loading our pipeline because we need to be sure that we have business for today, tomorrow, and the next year. Now that I'm on year 25 in real estate, right? I'm doing this for 25 years. I was a loan officer for whatever, and then I was real estate for whatever. And a lot of the business I have right now are just come list me calls, or people just call and say, hey, I need to do this. Hey, I need to do that. And I just go out there and we do it. There's not really a presentation, although there is stuff that we need to do, but that comes from the right side of the screen. It says contacts, that you add to cultivation, which is cultivating the client to be sure that they're going to remember who you are when the time comes. Now, the lead generation should always be purposeful and intentional. Now, lead generation is the life of an agent's business. You are a lead generator. That is your job. You are not a real estate agent. You're not a realtor. You are a lead generator. That is what you are. You're a lead generator that focuses on what? Real estate. I can hear all of you saying it at the same time. You're all like, real estate, that's what we focus on. Yes, you are a real estate agent. I mean, you're a lead generator that focuses on real estate. And it's one of the easiest jobs to make a lot of money. But don't confuse easy with fun, because some of the aspects of what we have to do isn't necessarily fun. Hannah and I will get in the car and we'll door knock. Well, we don't door knock right now, but we'll go door knock. And we'll try and hit, 3 or 4 properties a day, targeted door knocking, not just door knocking in neighborhood. We do door knock neighborhoods when we've got listings, 200-300 people per listing. But if we're doing our targeted, pop buys and so forth, and the worst ones are when you drive by and the person's in the front yard and they stare at you, they glare at you as you drive by. And then we're both together and we're like, oh God. So then we have to park the car. We have to get out and walk over and say hi to them. And those are the hardest ones, but we know that it will give us dividends if we actually have an opportunity to meet the people and talk to the people. And so I'm not saying that it's easy. It is hard. I mean, it's not enjoyable. It actually can kind of be hard, but it will pay dividends. Now, lead generation is taking a message and using that method to drive to a desired audience. Now, that's called your lead generation, or the 2 M's. They say your message and your method. The message needs to match your market and needs to make an offer for immediate response. Now, when we call it MOFR, or make offer for immediate response. What does that mean? Make offer for immediate response. Now, again, I can't see some of your questions. I'm going to come out to see if anybody has any questions. Let's see if I could get to the questions mark. Where's the chat box? Where are we? Nope, that's not it. I can't get to the chat. I'm not sure how to get to the chats. I'm sorry. Here we go, chat. So what does it mean, MOFR, make offer for immediate response? Can anybody go ahead and tell me what that means? What does that mean? Anybody want to type into the chat box? I can see you. Make offer for immediate response. They. I see Jenny. They engage. They engage. All right. So make an offer for immediate response. I hear to get them to engage. Yes. So Jenny is correct. What it means is if I say to you, hey, don't forget, if you need anything, call me. Is that a mofer? Is that a make an offer for immediate response? What is it? Type in the answer. Let me see. That's the only way I can do. I can see everybody. Hi, or let me hear you. If anybody has a comment, you just unmute yourself and tell me. What is it? So Jenny, no, it's not. Jenny answered the question. So if I say, if I ask you that question, hey, what's up? Call me if you need anything. Is that a making an offer for immediate response? No, because there is nothing that's there, right? There's no, I have a dog barking in the background if you can hear that. Sorry about that. Making an offer for immediate response is call me if you are considering buying or selling. Now, is that a making an offer for immediate response? Yes. Or are you thinking about buying or selling? I would like you to call me. If you are going to consider buying, call me, or I'm going to call you next week because I want to discuss with you about buying a home. Would that be okay? Yes, it is a response that's going to get a immediate response. Kind of like if I am standing with you and I say, are you hungry? That's a making an offer for immediate response because you're going to have to answer with what? Yes or no. That is an immediate response. Do you want to buy a house? Yes or no. Do you want to sell? Yes or no. That's an immediate response. Now, it doesn't have to be that cut and dry to get what I'm saying, but the idea is your response. Oops, let me get back to sharing the screen. All right, are we still sharing the screen? I believe we are. Okay, we're back on. The idea is if I'm going to make an offer for immediate response, I need to know, otherwise my prospecting was worthless. If all I'm doing is saying to you, hey, call me, thanks, bye, it's not necessarily going to get you to engage me because you're just listening. So you make sure that you have the ability that you're going to be able to do it, because your market, you must tailor your message to the market. And the message should have a call to action, like call me now. An indirect one is look at my website to look at more or to find out more. Now, which one do you think is better? Which one do you think has a more ability to get to where you want to? The direct or the indirect? Well, it's usually the more direct you are with your questions, the more direct you'll get an answer back. So as we continue to move along, we know that lead generation methods should be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. Now, this is as old as dirt. This goes right back to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book right here. And what it basically states is my prospecting, if all I do is call a bunch of people, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, and that's all I say, that's great. It's fantastic. But how can I make that even better? The way that I can make that even better is I mail you a bunch of crap and then I call you. Because if I mail you a bunch of crap or email you a bunch of crap and then I call you, that cold call has started to become a what? A warm call. Now, if anybody has any questions, if you want to comment, you can definitely unmute yourself. I'm okay with that. So the thought process again is, if I am marketing only, it's very passive. If I am lead generation only, it's good, but to make my lead generation even better, I mail or email in order to get things done. So what we do as a team, there are 7 of us on the team. We send a monthly mailer. So people ask, what do you guys do? We send a monthly mailer to the entire database. What does it say? I don't know. It says, we're cool. What are you doing? Hey, hook up. Give me a call later. We send out a weekly email to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people roughly on a weekly basis. We send about 4,000 or 5,000 emails on a weekly basis to the entire database. So the entire database gets hit with a weekly email. We get hit with a monthly mailer, and then each individual agent has to reach out to their clients when the time is right for them, whether it be every couple of days, every day, every week, etc. System just tells you when you would do it, and that's a call. or a text, etc. There are times that you may do blanket emails to the whole entire database or blanket text messages. However, but the point is, if I were just doing the calls, it wouldn't be enough. But since we're doing the mailing and the emailing, it makes the calls easier. It makes the cold call easier. You're going to call your friend and you're going to say, hey, I'm in real estate. What's up? And then suddenly I'm going to say, I'm in real estate. I'm in real estate. I'm in real estate. And the client's going to say, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Then you're going to mail them a bunch of crap, right? You're going to mail them. You're going to email them. And after 3 or 4 or 5 months, you become an expert. And in their minds, suddenly you could have sold no homes, but you're sending them a bunch of stuff and you're talking to them on a regular basis. And now you've become an expert. And that's what I find is where you're becoming enhanced with your marketing. So prospecting is proactive and direct. It keeps you active versus reactive. And it's the act of searching for your leads. It allows you to focus on proactive customer creation activities that will be critical for your ability to hit your numbers. For when the market shifts, you're in a period of marketing. When the market shifts, it becomes harder to attract clients with your mailers. I'm
Chris,
finding when I get on the phone. Oops, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I have a question, Chris.
Yeah.
It's
Hi,
Nairi.
Nairi.
Hey, good morning. So many of us don't have like the database that like you have. So sending all of those mailers and all of those texts and all of those emails and all that stuff, how do you suggest that for us, we balance that so that they don't unsubscribe to us and that they don't say, damn, like this chick is annoying. Like she keeps bombarding me with all this stuff. Like it's just getting to be too much.
That's a good question. So, Nairi, I ran this morning and I didn't see you, but you ran at a quicker pace last night. So you made me look like poop. Anyways, first and foremost, don't let our own individual feelings or our own thoughts of what we would feel like if someone mails me or emails me a bunch of crap to determine whether you will or you won't. Fair enough? So I will send out 4,000 emails and I think we got 6 unsubscribes. I think 6 or 7 or 8, Hannah, I'm not sure if that was right. I can see you nod yes or no, about 6 or 7 or 8. Yeah. We had about 6 or 7 or 8 unsubscribes from it out of a 4,000 person email. So first and foremost, don't worry about it. Do it. I'd rather don't ask for permission, just ask for forgiveness, or don't even ask for anything. It's like, who cares? So I don't worry about it. How many the question, Nairi, that we have is how often you get an email from Home Depot or Kohl's telling you that there's a hot sale and you should take a look at it? How often you get that email?
All the time.
All the time. Now, do you delete it?
Yeah.
But occasionally, if it says swimsuits for sale and you know you're going to go on, you know you need a swimsuit, you got a hot date next week, are you gonna look at that email potentially?
Sure.
But when most of the time you don't need it, so you won't look at it.
Right.
So that's the idea of the email. The email is very passive, and when the time is right, they will look at it. Because I'm surprised at that people who open up the emails are not the normal people that open up our automatic emails with property minder type things, right? Our properties that we send, like if I have a seller or an owner of a house and I put them on a drip search of properties around their house and they look at that every time that the email goes out. Those people never look at that, but then they look at my email and it's like, what? You're looking at my email, but you won't look at the crap that I'm trying to send you about your house. So you're seeing that it's cross-pollinating a different potential group of clients. So my biggest thing is even if you only have 30 or 40 people, I would recommend sending out a weekly email to that group and start now and grow it from that. Because if you start it now, you'll never get hit with spam because it's organically grown, right? This isn't a group of people that I bought and I'm mailing it to them because no one will allow you to do that. All the big subscribers will say, we don't want to have anything to do with your massive list that you bought. But if you're growing it, and people are opening it, then Google and Gmail and all that will start looking that it's not spam because you're getting people to open, you're getting response rates. So Nairi, even if you only have 20, 30 or 40 people, I would still send something out once a week. I'm sure that they're in command. There's templates, or you can apply for, there's if you go to Google to search what emails can I send as a real estate agent. And I'm sure there's companies out there for a very cheap rate, write the stuff for you. That's what we do. We don't write the crap. We subscribe to a service. And then once a week on Monday or Tuesday, we find what we want and we send it out. Nairi, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's just, and that was like basically like me doing what you're exactly saying. It's like, don't drive with fear of your database dwindling just by people unsubscribing, right? You just got to keep front of face and just keep trying. And eventually there's going to be the need.
Okay, so two questions that we had right there. Okay, the first one is, don't be afraid of unsubscribers. If they unsubscribe, frick them. I don't care. Then I don't have to talk to you via email, but I'm still going to mail you a bunch of stuff. I'm still going to mail you a bunch of stuff, and I'm still going to call you. You don't subscribe for my email. You didn't unsubscribe for my phone. I'm still going to call you. I'm still going to mail you stuff. My barber, although I shave my head now. I mean, I buzz it now in the sink, but my barber unsubscribed for me. So I photocopied my middle finger and I texted it to him. And I said, that's what you get for unsubscribing. I'm going to mail this to you once a month. And he giggles and laughs. A friend of mine who I go to lunch with once every 2 or 3 months unsubscribed. So just because they unsubscribe doesn't mean that they don't like you. It just means they just maybe don't want your email in that form or fashion. But don't be afraid, because you need to make sure you call and talk to your clients until they buy or they die or they tell you to F off. It's that simple. Don't ask for permission. I am going to call, and I don't care. I mean, out of my team, some of the, we have Hannah and Andrew and Jenny, we call, and Chris, we call until they unsubscribe or they just stop or they just tell us we don't want anything to do with you, but we still mail and we still email, and hopefully we'll be able to get something, because the people who we think that don't like us are the ones that call us back in order to get business. It's the weirdest thing. So Nairi, don't be afraid of your database. Don't be afraid of mailing to your database. Don't be afraid to email your database, because that is your lifeblood. Your lifeblood is that database. And then how you can grow that database with the emails, you just ask on Facebook. Hey, I'm doing really well in real estate. I'd like to know what your home address is and your email so I could send you my contact information so you never forget I'm in real estate. Oh, and hey, are you going to how are you doing in this lockdown? I mean, what are something fun that you're doing with the kids? Because now you just said something that they have to respond to about the kids. And then you are asking them, and whether they'll give you their home address or they'll give you their email, either one's a score, or you can reverse search their name to see if they own a house. If they own their house, put them on your database and mail a bunch of crap to them. Don't ask them for permission. Just mail it to them. Just mail it to them. I do crazy things where if I see my friends on Facebook and I don't have their address, I search through their pictures until I start seeing homes, until I start seeing streets, and I start seeing, an address. Oh, and then I will stalk them and I will find their address and I'll add them to my mailer. And we do that all day long. You reverse searching, looking at social media, trying to find out where they live in order to mail to them. And I don't care. It's like, this is what I do. This is what I do. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to say. I don't know. All right. So, so we ask you, what do you think is better, to be prospecting based or marketing based? What do you think is better, marketing or prospecting? Someone tell me, what do you think is better?
Prospecting, Chris.
Okay. Is that Jenny?
Yeah.
So, why do you feel prospecting is more important than marketing? I mean, not doing one or the other, I mean, but both. But why is prospecting more effective than marketing in the short term?
So, well, just based on the chart that's on the screen, it costs less money. So especially in the beginning, or if you're not necessarily someone who has go list me calls, prospecting is much more financially or monetarily doable. And then you can use the marketing piece as a supplement to reinforce your presence and to sort of brand yourself over time, because that costs money. So you want to make sure you're targeting the right audience. So by prospecting, you have a wider base and you can really narrow down sort of the clients that are ideal for you based on that.
Yeah. If I do prospecting, I'll call you today and then I will be like, they don't want to buy or sell, right? So then, but I called, I asked, I made an offer for immediate response. I said, do you want to buy or sell? They said no. And then I say, okay, I put it my tickle to call them in 3 months or 4 months. So I call them in 3 or 4 months. It's a little bit warmer because I talked to you 3 or 4 months ago. And then if I call them again in 4 months, it's a little bit warmer. And if I call them again in 4 months, now I've talked to you 4 times this year. Now, is that fourth call warmer than the first call? Yeah, it's warmer. But the problem we fall into is, what if I forget to make that call at 4 months? And now I look at the client and it's been a year. Is that a hard cold call again? Yes. So how can I make that hard cold call warm without calling him for a year? And that's through marketing. That's through marketing. That's through my email, and that's through my mailers, because if I'm consistently marketing and mailing to them, regardless of when I call them, it's still warm because they recognize me. Even if they delete the email, they still saw Chris Halston, delete. If they still, they still get the mailer, they may throw it away, but they see my name, and it's a very inexpensive thing that we're doing. So marketing is money intensive, passive, and long-term results, which means at the very beginning of your career, you have a lot of time and no money. Maybe at the end of your career, you got a lot of money and no time. So you don't start your marketing until the budget allows, because again, from Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, Gary Keller says specifically, do not leverage yourself to grow your business. Now, what does that mean? Not the leverage as far as hiring staff, etc. I mean, don't spend money to make money. Make money and then spend it. When this shift occurred, we immediately went into lockdown mode. The team went and looked at every single individual expense and says, what can we do in order to extend the dollars that we have in moving ourselves forward? Okay, so the type of prospecting you have is for sale by owners and expired listings. But the problem is right now at this specific time, I can't door knock. So I can only call the for sale by owners and call the expired, but I can't door knock, but I can mail stuff to them. And believe me, I talked to so many agents out there, and there are so many agents, out there that have no business right now. And we ask them what they're doing, and they're not sure exactly what they're doing. Just a side note really quick, Hannah, will you text Rawson and let them know that I will be back with them in 45 minutes? Let them know that the job started this morning and I'll be back with them. Okay, so the type of business we have out there is for sale by owners and expired listings. Okay, that is a viable, and you're probably going to see more of that, because whenever a shift occurs in the market, those properties that were on the market right before the shift sometimes have a hard time selling. And if they have a hard time selling, keep very aware of it. But the problem you have is when they get expired, there's no phone numbers that are anything on that. So if there are listings that are expired, pull the listings 2 weeks before, and it may have the seller's contact info on it. Circle prospecting, which is, door knocking in neighborhoods, door knocking in apartment complex, looking at recently sold listings or recently listed properties. I'm not sure. Oh, recently listed properties. If I have a listing, I can then circle prospect my listing. Hi, I have a or even somebody else's. You just door knock the neighborhood. Hi, home over on 4th Street. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home just listed for $985,000. And when one property sells, usually 2 more want to sell right away. Have you considered selling? If you say that same script to everybody in a neighborhood, eventually someone will say what? They'll say, yes, I'm thinking about selling. One of my mentees, that's the right way, mentee, said, hey, I'm going to do some door knocking. I said, hey, that's fantastic. And he procured a great listing that's going to come out. It's going to be like $1.3 million from just door knocking. And now we talk to the dude like every 2 or 3 days. We're on the phone with this guy, and it will eventually happen. And it was from door knocking. My first listing came from door knocking, and they decided to hire me over a top agent because they said I was the neighborhood expert, and they had no idea. I didn't even know how to read a listing contract. I didn't even know what I was doing, but they considered me the neighborhood expert because they saw me in the neighborhood. So if I'm doing community reach, charity, volunteer work, people are so noble with their charity work. And yes, we're noble with our charity work. It's great. But take advantage of it, baby. If you got all those people there, there's going to be somebody that wants to buy or sell. So talk to them. Hey, yeah, you're scooping food. Yeah, I'm in real estate. Hey, are you thinking about buying or selling? I mean, what do you got to lose? That's a lead right there. I sold so many properties to people in baseball and my kids' school. I don't care. I have to run a business. This is my business. This is what I do. I talk to people about real estate every single day. So I have to grow my database. The relationships you can have with corporations or builders or so forth are going to be key as well. But there's a variety of prospecting methods to share your message. So is there, in regards to this, is there anything that anybody has done that gets deep into this, not like I've door knocked like this, that you've done that showed success? Anybody done something that deep into this list that you saw success you could share with us really quickly?
Chris, sorry to be the only person that keeps speaking, but
that's all right.
For example, last week when I was volunteering at Second Harvest or at one of their distribution sites, you have a certain number of contacts that you'd like us to make every day. And I shamelessly took that opportunity, since I was unable to get on the phone and call sort of my database. I literally handed my card to every single volunteer that I was working with and kind of shamelessly pitched myself. Well, maybe not shamelessly, but to some degree.
Yeah.
And again, most of those people were accepting, and sort of now I've added 12 people to my database from Palo Alto that may not have been there if I had kept my mouth shut about what I do while I was volunteering.
Perfect. That's exactly right. Is opportunity knocks for those who are ready, willing, and able. And only those who are ready, willing, and able will be able to take advantage of an opportunity when it comes. Because if you weren't ready for the opportunity, it would just pass you by. So we've always got to be ready, willing, and able at all times. In looking at being prospecting based and marketing enhanced, that we're going to talk about 4 different things. We're going to talk about door knocking, agent to agent referrals, open houses, and social media. Now, I want you to think about that. Of these ones, how many have you tried? And what has been your success rate on this? So when I take a look at door knocking and we understand what's the approach to door knocking, if you refer to page 5 in your participant guide, door knocking has its benefits because it can help you jumpstart your business. Like, you can promote your business by talking to potential clients. You get face-to-face in front of people. You can build your farm. People remember who you are, and you have the ability to enhance your prospecting with marketing materials if you wanted to. The idea is sometimes we do too big of an area. Number one, like if you do door knocking, do a door knock where you can handle the whole neighborhood once a month. So maybe 200 homes, and just door knock those 200 homes once a month. Every time you meet someone, you take them out of the door knock, your do not or have not met list, and put them in your database as a met list. So that's a great way to grow your business. So if my database only has 70 people in it, I can go door knock. If I meet 5 people, my database now is 75 people. Meet 5 more, now it's at 80. So how many of you have gone door knocking? Anybody have gone door knocking?
We have.
No. Are there some, who's on door knock? I can't see this.
I
chat.
have.
Who's
Tom
that?
Bellwater, door knocked.
Hey, TK, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Tom has been with Keller Williams longer than me and a friend of mine. So I think he's like approaching like 30 years at Keller Williams. So, hey, Tom.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. Longer, at least 20 years, 18 years, right? 20 years?
Yeah, it's the 20. Yeah, we're there.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
not talk about the number of years.
yeah, well, you started when you're 5, so it's okay. So
Yeah.
now, do you have any limiting beliefs around door knocking? I mean, or do you have any like fears for when you go door knocking? Do you have any fears?
Well, sure. It's always that way when you start out. But if I could just share a second, in one of the bold classes that I took recently, say in the last year, maybe it was the year before, they did a demonstration with Lifesaver candies. And, they handed them out to roughly 100 participants in the class. And everybody got this white Lifesaver. And then he asked everybody to sit down who had a white Lifesaver. And then it turned out that there were a few out there that had red ones, and they remained standing. And the whole thing about the approach was that, we don't know when you start out, and this applies to door knocking, where that nugget's going to be. And, many times I get discouraged, out door knocking, and I'll do a whole street. And my goal is always to get at least one name, email address, and telephone number every time I go out. All right. And of course, the ultimate goal is to get a listing. But my goal is to at least talk to somebody and get their information, at least one. And sometimes when you're out there, you do that. And you're already approaching 30 homes, all right? And nobody's answering the door, or nobody wants to talk to you, or whatever it is. And you get that feeling that, maybe this isn't working. Well, with that demonstration of the red Lifesaver is the same thing. You know, if you start out at one end of the room and you get no, you go all the way across the room, and then finally there's that red lifesaver. It's the answer or the thing you're looking for. And so many times I think about the lifesaver. It may be the very next house.
Yeah.
And that's what pulls me forward. So anyway, that's kind of the thing that keeps me moving forward with door knocking.
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom, it's a really good point. In our job, we have rejection. Every day we get rejection. We will get 99 rejections before one approval. When you get the one yes, it makes the 99 doesn't matter.
Right.
Like I'll teach a class of, say, when I used to do a lot of national teaching with Keller Williams University, I teach a room of 2,000 people, and it was great. I loved it. I was just shining. I loved it. And we got the evaluations, and I got 2 people who said they hated me. They thought I was dumb. They hated my glasses. They hated everything I talked about. And the whole plane ride home from New Orleans or from Virginia or wherever, all I could think about was those 2. It was really weird. But then I learned that it's not about the 2 I want to think about. I want to think about the 98 that loved me, not the 2 that hated me. Because don't change everything you're doing because you run along to a house and the person hates you, because you're going to get people that aren't going to like you, and that's okay. Just let them not like you, move on. But you also have to think the opposite when I'm doing my lead generation, is that it may take me 99 no's to get to a yes, but when I get the yeses, it makes everything wonderful. But I can't feel that wonderful feeling until I get the yes. Team leaders feel that all the time. Team leaders hire, they may hire 10 people in a month, but they may have 3 or 4 people who will leave. And those people will leave, and it makes the team leader sad. But what makes a team leader happy is when someone joins. You can't control what they think. You can only control what you think. And you will get to a yes, but you have to sift through the no's to get to the yes.
Something Chris likes to say also is that the more no's you come across, the higher the probability that the next one will be a yes. Yeah. So even if you do get 99 no's in a row, eventually you will get a yes. So hopefully that extra person is the one that gives you the response you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Jenny, who's speaking right there, is our lead listing specialist on the team. So thank you, Jenny. And
sorry, it's just something you say, so I had to throw it out there.
Yeah. We met a couple years back at the lead Chicago Titles Make-A-Wish Foundation, and came on board, and now she handles sellers and just like a buyer's agent, but she's a listing specialist. However, handles buyers because whatever's coming along. But as we continue to move forward, it's we go from there. All right. So when you're doing your lead generation, make sure you know your script. Always listen. Bring something with you, and always ask for business and permission to stay in touch. Add anybody that you meet to your database and move yourself on. If you door knock that door and you do not ask them for business, if they want to buy or sell, it was a worthless door to knock on. Just telling you right now. You need to get those words out of your mouth. Do you want to buy or sell? Are you thinking of selling? And once you say it 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 times, it becomes easy. It doesn't matter. But the first time you do it, you're going to say it wrong. Second time, you're going to screw it up. Third time, you're going to be kicking yourself and thinking how stupid you sounded. But after about the 5th, 10th, or 15th, or 50th, or 100th time, you're going to be an expert. The only way to get better at doing it is screwing it up. And how do you screw up less? Practice your scripts. But the best thing that the mind learns from mistakes. You learn from successes, sure, but you also learn from screwing it up. And it's okay to screw it up. And if you don't be afraid of screwing it up, but learn from it. I remember one time Hannah and I went on a listing presentation, and we hadn't gone on one like in a month because the market had shifted. And I went and I screwed it up. It was the most awful listing presentation. We didn't get the listing. We didn't get anything. And we got in the car, and I'm like, oh my God, I just sounded awful. And she's not going to say anything mean. She goes, how did I do? Well, you could have done better. And it made me realize that if I'm out of, practice, you can hear it, you can see it, and you can feel it that I'm out of practice. I see you smile, and she's giving me that look. I can feel her glaring at me even through technology. So I make sure that I don't want that position. I want to make sure that if I'm blessed with that listing opportunity, that I'm going to go through with it 100%. All right. So the next thing, so I would say as a real estate agent, door knock, add it to your script, your thing. You've got 8 hours or 10 hours a day of work. You might as well go door knock 2 hours a day. What else do you have to do? If you got nothing to do, If all you're doing is watching Netflix, turn that crap off and get out there and door knock, except for right now. Don't door knock tonight. All right. Refer to page 6 in your participant guide. Agent to agent referrals is the referral will come in from agents you know and agents who you meet. Your goal should be able to, that you're top of mind with those agents. So when they think of referring business, they think of you first. You are competing with other agents for their attention. So you should be consistently thinking of ways to stand out, be different, and be remembered. We add people to our database where, of course, we could talk to them on social media. We could, hit them up. We can mail to them. But the most important thing is if you do go to family reunion, mega camp, those type of events, you get the business cards and you then stay in consistent communication with them. I have several people in our database. I act like I just put them in as sellers and they get our seller crap. But I want to make sure that if they're in Virginia or Texas or Idaho, that they're getting my crap saying buying and selling, but it will remind them of who I am. So when they're ready to buy or sell, they're going to refer that business to me. Because you need to be sure that with the agent referral model, you have to grow the business, manage it, and maintain it. So the people ask the question is, how do you grow your referral network? How do you grow it? And how do you stay top of mind? Okay, so there's a couple of things you want to do. I have the ability to go into Command, and when I'm in Command, I can access referrals and I can add agents to a network and I can send referrals. I hope that everybody's going into that. If you haven't gone into that or I don't know how to share a screen to do that, to share with you on Command, but you can go into mykw.kw.com, link in, go to the referral site, and you could then ask for people to be connected with you and you could connect with them. And by growing that network of business, I know that it works because every week I get 3, 4, or 5 people requesting to be my friend and wanting me to be a part of their referral network. You can also scan a QR code. I know when you go to family reunion, people are saying QR code and everyone scans themselves in order to be connected. Or you can allow people to scan your QR code or the opposite. But the idea is if I'm growing my agent database, I don't necessarily want to grow it in my city. If I want to grow it in my city, okay, that means that I want to try to be on the buy side of your listings and you'll know me, I know you, we'll be able to get business together. But I want to try and grow business from other states. So try to be a member of a referral group, try to find different events that you can go to that would have people from other areas and get to know them, add them to your database, add them to the Command to be a referral source and move yourself on from that way. But we get on average a regular source of referrals from other agents, and that's almost like a come list me call. They just call and say, hey, but you need to sell yourself to the agent because you probably don't need to sell yourself to the client because the client's going to take the referral that the agent's going to give, but the agent may interview you. So you need to shine to that agent to make sure the agent feels they know you, they like you, they trust you, and you're going to be able to do the business for them. The listing sides are the gift of God. So when you get the listing referral, it's like fantastic. It's a 25% referral fee is what you pay. A lot of times I will, if there are a lot of expenses, we can, the referral fee can come after the expenses, but sometimes we just take it because the home prices are so high anyway. Okay, so when we go through Command, you can send and receive, you can broadcast referrals. You can also use the map function. You could search who they are, where they are, what their business is, and so forth. All right, next up is open houses. Now it's kind of funny because I'm not that good at open houses. So I always encourage other people to do them on my team I'll do them with you. We'll do 2 people. I'll say I'll host them with Jenny. She'll take all the new clients, the people who don't have agents, and I'll just talk to agents. Now, Jenny doesn't even want me there. Jenny's good. She doesn't even need me there. But if it's like a really, really busy open house, I'll show up just to talk to agents or buyers who have agents so that I'm pulling that person away so that the agent who's hosting the open house could be focused on just buyers and sellers as opposed to working, or if there's anyone who's coming in and want to ask about sales or construction, I'm a contractor as well. Open houses have a great potential for attracting leads. Don't be afraid if the property's been on the market for 3 months, 2 months, who cares? Make it yours. So open houses are a great lead generation opportunity. And the reason why they're they're an opportunities, they're inexpensive. It's a great return on investment. You can build your reputation around the name of specific neighborhoods. When I do open houses, I'm not afraid of them anymore. I mean, I used to I don't know. I just was awful at them, but I like it because I get myself dressed up. It's on the weekend. I can set myself up and I have the ability to passively talk or passively market to people to come in. And when they come in, I could talk. On the chart on page 7 of your guide, it will talk to you a little bit more about that. I could leverage my materials by flyers, signage, social media to enhance my prospecting. I can advertise this property on Facebook to encourage people to come. Even if they don't come, my friends and family will see in my sphere of influence if I posted on my Facebook that, hey, that person's pretty busy. On page 8 in your guide, it tells you a little bit more as well. The understanding that open house prospecting model can help you become purposeful with your open house. Now, I used to just hold the house open and wait and then leave. That was my version of an open house. But there are better ways. Not in this book, but in the Shift book, it talks about it because you should prepare. Like a lot of people will ask, hey, will you host open houses? Or can I host one of your open houses? Well, our team's pretty big, so the team usually does the open houses. But I find that sometimes when people will host an open house for us, they never call me before. They don't call me after. And it's so like, I don't understand. Are you really being, proactive with your approach with this open house, or are you just doing it because you think it's something you need to do? So there are ways to do it on the page 8 and page 9, which is getting to prepare what your open house is and move yourself forward, because prospecting can be important to you in doing it. In regards to the prospecting on it, the open houses, you can, when you are doing your open house, set up your command, add any contacts, and stay at top of mind. A lot of people are afraid of open houses, so they set out their little guide that says, or little, hey, you need to check in and write your name on that little sheet, right? A lot of us have said that. That's like what we would do, is ask them to fill out the sheet. But I find it's even better for you to be really direct of saying, hey, can I get your email address so I can send you information? Or what's your email address? I'd like to send you some information about this property. And you look down with your pencil and you go like this, and they just verbally vomit and give you the crap you ask. But if you say, hey, could you write your name down in this book? You don't know what they're writing. So when they write it down, you go, okay, great. And what's your cell phone? And you don't even look at them in their eyes. Like, what's their cell phone? And I do this. I mean, our team, we're mad men and mad women. I mean, if you put Jenny and Hannah on it, they'll be like, and what's this? And what's this? Okay, great. Okay, well, I'm going to send it to you right now. Did you get it? And they ask them right there, did you get it? They'll email them a sample. Yeah, I got it. So bam, they know what it is. And I'm going to call you later today. If I get a lead, you better call that lead that day. Don't wait till Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, because by then they forgot you. If you get a lead from your open house, call them later that day. So if you want to make sure that everybody you add, you're adding them to the database and you're doing something with them, giving them something of value after that open house, because they may not be wanting to buy right now, but you need to make sure you add the contact, add the tags, buyer or seller, and then add them to a cultivation type phase and start a smart plan. Now, if the person's a tire kicker and they live in the neighborhood, well, that potentially could be a future listing. All right. So again, on the open houses, we talked a little bit about this. You could have a guest speaker, like a general contractor or a stager. You could say this person is going to be at the house this week. You could hold raffles. You could do scavenger hunts around the property. I like the idea that hosting a speaker. Get the house into showing shape. Make sure you get there early enough to be sure that there's nothing that's wrong with the house, and talk to the listing agent to make sure it's okay. And you can even go live, which means on Facebook or on Google chat, you can go live and just have a live version that's sitting there and type in. If people ask questions, you can answer it. So a lot of times we're finding that at vacant houses, you can host virtual open houses right now, where you're at the house, you have your iPad or your phone, and it's a Zoom call. Anybody can come in at any time. And when someone asks you questions, you walk around the house showing them the different aspects of the house to try to get them to engage with you. As we move on to the final of the items, it is lead gen, or is through social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I find on page 11, there are a lot of different ways for you to grow your business through social media. A lot of people are afraid because social media is very passive, but if you send direct questions to your clients, that is making it active. Social media is also not a sales platform. So don't sell. You engage, and then quietly post something in there that would be post something in there that would be appropriate at that particular moment in time. I mean, you're going to try and target people with the location and the audience that you have. You're going to do what you can to understand who your audience is. All of my clients, everybody in my database knows I'm in real estate, because once after about maybe 5 or 10 or 15 posts, I talk about real estate, but it's very passive. I don't say, hey, I'm doing real estate. I do a blog. If anybody likes to listen to blogs, it's Real Estate with Chris Alston. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes, all the different sites, just Chris Alston with Real Estate. So I occasionally tell everyone that I have that going on. When someone does ask you a question, respond, keep it light, take it offline if they want to know a little bit more. Ask for business. We're saying, hey, I'm showing property today and I'd love to grow my business. Who do you know that's thinking about buying or selling? I'd love to help them. It's okay to talk about that, just not all the time. So understanding the model of how to use social media is 20% business, 80% personal. We always said that in order to get someone to engage with you, you must engage with them. So if you want to get someone to start engaging on your posts, engage on theirs, comment on theirs, talk about theirs, spend every day on social media and trying to dig deep into your business. When you create action plans for your clients, give yourself once every 3 months a note in the action plan to go and find them on social media and comment on something with them. If you comment on a bunch of their crap, trust me, they're going to comment on something about you. But the 80-20 rule will help you avoid lead generation burnout, which means 80% of your stuff should be personal, 20% should be business when it comes through on social media. Make sure you keep content relevant. You know, you can create a photo album of every listing you sold, could be fine. Milestones in your career, talk about positive experiences. I mean, you could say, you know, plain and simple, like right now I'm seeing a lot of people posting about how they're showing properties. So you can say the day in the life of a real estate agent, we're showing properties with, you know, masks and Lysol and gloves. And so when are you going to be ready to buy or sell? You can joke about like that. So you're kind of making fun of yourself, but showing what it's like. And so who's going to be the next person that wants to, you know, have me show up looking like Bane from Batman or whatever? I don't know. Because the point is you want to make levity of what it is that you're trying to do, because social media is trying to create action. All right. So the next topic on our agenda is understanding how to take action and develop your plan. What we mean by that is 80 to 90% of your business comes from 5 sources or less. What I mean by that is there are a million different ways to get business, right? A million. And if there are a million different ways to get business, we found that a KW research did research, and they found the top lead generation sources were referrals, your sphere of influence, repeat business, purchase leads, and yard signs. Okay, so if those are the most important things, number 1 is referrals. So referrals could be from your friends and family. I want to talk to someone, I want them to buy or sell with me, or I want them to refer me a buyer or seller, or number 3, I want to strengthen the relationship. So what I mean by that is, if a referral is the most important thing, I need to make sure that my database knows who I am, because in time, that will be my biggest thing. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent book says if I do a 33 touch, which the new version will be a 37 or 38 touch, if I talk to my clients about 2 to 3 times a month, I will have a very high probability of my database giving me lots of business. Now, that doesn't mean that there are other sources that you shouldn't implement, because there are other ways to get business, but just know the imitation is the ultimate form of flattery. Focus on my referrals, focus on my sphere of influence, my repeat business, people I've done business with. So now there's purchased leads. I'm sorry, purchased leads. That would be like Zillow leads and market leader leads, or posting advertisements on social media like Facebook and so forth. We're looking at page 12 of your guide. So you've got a list of items. There's all these different things that you could do, like door knockings, calls, a sphere of influence, for sale by owners, open houses, etc. You've got all this crap that you possibly could do. If you have all of these items that you could do, prioritize to what you think is the most important to what's the least important. This is your homework for tonight, okay? The list of all the things you could do on social media or to lead generate, prioritize it, and then tell me the 5 that you want to focus on. By focusing on the 5, the problem is if you try and do all 10, you're going to suck at them all. So try to focus on 2 most important ones, 3 ancillary ones and be amazing at doing that 1 or 2 items before you go and do the 3rd one. Because if you get amazing at doing 1, it will be easier to do the 2nd. But if you try and do all 10 at the same time, you're going to suck in them all. So be a master at the 1 and then grow into the 2nd business. So we want to make sure that we could develop a prospecting plan. Like, what is this prospecting plan? Well, the prospecting plan that you're going to be able to do is normally we would do this in person, but we're not in person, right? So we want to make sure, what is our prospecting plan, which on those pages of page 14 and 14 to 16 is to develop an action plan for putting prospecting into place. Complete that independently, figure out the things that you want to do. Feel free to email me. I'll be more than happy to comment on whatever your plan is. I'm at calston@kw.com. That's CALSTON@kw.com. If you email me your questions, I'm more than happy to email you back, but know that I work on a living, breathing team. So it could take 12 to 24 hours for me to respond to your emails, but I'm happy to take any one of your emails. And that will allow you to set up your plan to get yourself going. Now, today's class is kind of hard because I'm teaching from afar. So I want you guys to unmute, and I have time now because I want to be able to take questions and ideas and ahas. But I want you to delve a little bit deeper, not long-winded questions, because I want to make sure that I keep everybody engaged. But how was your thinking changed now? And what are things that you feel are meaningful, or even questions to help elaborate a little bit more? Because we're a living, breathing team. I think I'm not sure, Hannah, it's me, you, and Jenny. I think there's 3 of us that are on the call from the team. I'm not sure if there's anybody else. Oh, my ops manager, my operations manager is also on the call. But what are some challenges you're having and issues? I'll be more than happy to share with you. I do have time. I have the kids. I don't need to take care of the kids for another hour. So I'll give you another 10, 15 minutes. What do you got for me? You guys can unmute. Go ahead and tell me. Somebody's got something.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
This is Jenny, and this is sort of not necessarily a problem I have now, but in the beginning, and I don't know how many are new agents or newer agents on here, but how do you deal with the simple problem of, I don't know what I'm doing. How am I supposed to door knock and sort of talk to people about real estate when I have no idea what I'm doing?
Okay, that's a good point. So there's nothing left to share on the screen, so I'm just pulling so I can see people's faces. Okay, so the first listing that I ended up getting was from door knocking, and I door knocked. They chose me. I know we talked about it a minute ago. They chose me because they felt I was a neighborhood expert. Now, was I the neighborhood expert? No, I wasn't the neighborhood expert. I didn't know anything. A lot of times we don't know what to say, and it's crippling. And that fear of not knowing what to say keeps us from actually going out there and doing what we know we need to do. There's 2 ways to overcome that. One is to practice until you can't get it wrong, or go out there and do and get it wrong and learn from the mistakes that you have. So there's only going to be one of 2 ways. The thing that Gary Keller talks about in this book is know what you know what you don't know, but know where to get the information if you don't know. So if someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, that's okay. People will all the time have that. Like, when I was growing, even now, people ask me a question. Hey, so tell me, do you need to use this or this or that? And I go, hey, that's a great question. In fact, give me a few hours and let me get back to you. People are okay with that. But you need to make sure that if you say you're going to get back to them, you get back to them in the time that you are going to get back to them is what you say. If you say you'll get to them by the end of business day, get back to them by the end of business day. Call your mentor, call me, call your coworker, whoever it is, get the answer and come back. So if they don't know the answer, if you don't know the answer to the question, it's okay. Just let them know. But don't say, I don't know. Say, hey, that's a great question. Let me confer with a couple of my team members so I can get you the correct information. I'll be back with you in a few hours. How do you feel about that? Do you think that would work, Jenny?
People appreciate that, I think, when you're honest and don't try to BS them. So if you don't know the answer, I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah. All right. Come on. You guys got questions. Let's see.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
As newer agents, when we come into real estate, there are a lot of things thrown at us for prospecting, right? I wanted to get your experience on how do you separate out and how do you make the selection of which one thing you should first go and prospect? Because sometimes we start out doing like 5 things and we're doing so many things and nothing is working and stuff like that. How do you go about saying, okay, hey, I'm going to go do this, and only then
Ah.
drop everything, because it's very tempting to run into and then do 5 things, right? Because you think, hey, business will come from all of it.
Right, right. Okay. So to rephrase what he's saying, to make sure I'm hearing it right, hi AJ, that master of, he's the best open house person I know, is if there's a crap ton of ways that I could lead generate, how do I choose which one I should do? And because which one is going to be the best? Well, every type of lead generation will give you a result. It will. Some will have a higher probability result. Some will have a lower probability result, but you'll still see results from whatever form you do. I say, do what you love, what you enjoy, and don't do what you hate. Everybody knows I don't like doing open houses. Why? I don't know. I don't know how to do them very well. So I don't do them. And when I do them, I want to do them with someone else. I want to do them with Jenny. Why? So she could do all the right stuff and I'll do the wrong stuff and I'll be there for emotional support. So I know that's not my strength. So if I were to build my business on open houses, I would fail. I would be frustrated and I would go and spitting in the gutter when I'm done with the open house. But where am I good at is social media. I'm really good at trolling through my database and making phone calls. I know that makes me feel good. So AJ, what I would say was, you're really good at open houses. So there's no way you can get better at open houses besides just learning and polishing what you do. Try and find something else you enjoy doing and then do that and become a master at that before you try something else. Don't try and do something you hate, because if you hate it, either you're going to eventually like it or you'll forever hate it and it will never pay you the dividends you want. So even the simple things of going to Second Harvest Food Bank and giving out, and helping where people need to be helped right now is admirable. It's great. Is that a form of lead generation? Sure. Not immediately, because it's kind of weird, like, hey, are you going to buy or sell? That's all I'm talking about is I'm doing what I'm doing, but it will pay off eventually. And know that the return may be lower, but it will give you a return in time. Just be purposeful with whatever you're doing. So there's a million things to do. Focus on what it is that you need to do. When I grow my business, my main focus was Facebook. And so on Facebook, I have I think 4,000 or 5,000 followers on Facebook. We have lots of different fan pages. I focus on Pinterest, and that's funny, but I got like 1.2 million followers on Pinterest, and I have maybe about 15,000 followers on Twitter or something like that. So I have a pretty big social presence, and we do our blogging. So knowing that I'm not good at open houses, I surround myself with people who are good. So Jenny's good at it, and Chris and Andrew, they're all good at open houses, so that I don't have to do them. Hope that helps, AJ.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, who else? What do we got? I see some of you. I'm going to call on you.
Hey,
can't
Chris,
see.
can I add to that? And
Yes.
say a lot of the time you have to think about the financial cost of whatever it is that you're doing. So for prospecting and all of that stuff. So don't buy anything in the beginning until you figure out your business and your sort of what works for you.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, too often we get all these emails saying, buy this new crap, buy this new crap, buy this lead, AdWorks, woohoo. It's like, just don't do that crap. If you could do door knocking, if you could do calling, is free. Try to find
Fundamentals.
free. Focus on free. You don't have to have the greatest flyers of your door knocking. Just photocopy them off the copier until you start making money. And then when you're making money, change it to make it look amazing. But at the very beginning, I mean, what's his name in Santa Clara, Realty World, I can't remember his name. He goes once a month and he drops this ugly flyer. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen, but he always has listings because he calls and he drops off ugly flyers, and it doesn't matter because he's just trying to create connections. All right, what else you got? Got me? Yes, I see your hand up. Go for it.
Chris, it's
Wait.
great. to meet
Hi,
you.
hi, Stevie. I haven't seen you in years. How are you?
I'm doing great in beautiful Santa Cruz.
Awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate your sessions very much, and I'm curious. What do you send out in email to people?
Okay. CB and I used to work together at Campbell Keller Williams 15 years ago. I'm not sure what it was. It was years and years ago. So,
And also Cupertino.
Yeah.
Cupertino.
Yeah, your hair's shorter now. Okay, so he's asking, what are we sending via email? Well, the fact is, it doesn't matter what you send, it's that you're sending something. That's the first thing you have to realize. Gary Keller says that. Don't worry about what you send, just send something until you make the money to make it to be catered to your business, whatever your business model is, right? But asking what we send, the type of business, let me see if I can, while I'm just here, Hannah, do you have one of the emails that we send? You could send that email to me and maybe I could share the screen and I could share with you what an example of one of our emails. But this week was a unemployment matrix versus the housing market to see what were the differences between our housing market versus unemployment and do they combine? The week before was something a little bit similar to that. And then the week before was, are you thinking of buying? Or are you thinking about selling?
So you subscribe to a company to do this. You don't write this, right?
Yeah, I don't write it. No,
Okay.
I don't write it, but it comes in my name, my picture. Jenny's goes in her name, her picture. And then we have a little thing with my podcast on it, but it looks like we're writing amazing information, but really it's just details. And some people open it, some people don't. I mean, I think Jenny had like 45 or 40 opens in her last email and she looks at the list.
150.
Oh, 150 opens?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap, 150 views. Who are these people is what she said to me. I don't even, who's opening these emails?
And who's
Anyway,
unsubscribing?
Yeah, and I think we only had 1 or 2 people that actually unsubscribed from it. So,
Yeah.
okay, so
And
CV,
I
I'm
have
gonna,
a silly questions. Like sometimes when I receive people email, they look really pretty, the format and everything. I wonder, how do I create those
I
emails?
don't know. CB, I don't know how to create that stuff. I just subscribe to the email, and the email just comes to me. I don't really know how to format it, but I'm sure that the tech guy Chris could probably help us out in on a separate thing. So, but when I get the email, if we could find a copy of the email, I'll share my screen to show you what one of our emails look like. Okay.
I'm going to share a link in the chat so you can check it out. They actually do a newsletter for agents for free. And it's something kind of random I signed up for in the beginning. And it's been going out literally every month for 2 years now to anybody that I have in my database. And so I'll send you that link. So it's a non-paid option.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the email services like MailChimp and Vertical Response all have way to format emails.
Just make sure that when you are sending out your emails that you make sure that you are following spam guidelines where you're showing the ability for them to opt out and so forth. So I don't see, I'm trying to look for a copy. I don't really see a copy of it yet, but
Chris, I sent it to you.
okay. So I'm not seeing it come across just, here we go. I think you got it. Okay. So here it is. Let me go ahead and share. Bear with me. I'm going to share a screen. And let's see if I can get it shared correctly. Share screen. There. Okay. So you're seeing my email, right? I hope we're seeing someone say yes. Are you seeing the email?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's formatted like this. If you see that this right here is the name, recession, yes, housing crisis, no. It gives a little tagline, and then it gives a little bit of information about what's going on, a little graphic, and then the bottom line, and it's shared within the team. So as you can see right here, each individual agent, it is branded to the agent on the team. It's not branded with me. My team name is Live Play Real Estate is our team, Live Play Silicon Valley. And then it comes out looking something like this. So it's just an email and a lot of different areas for the person to click on. We've got the information as far as our company name, which is what you need to have in anything you're sending out. So you're not violating any DRE. I'm a broker, so I have the ability, a little bit more flexibility because we own this name, Live Play Real Estate. So if you go on to the DRE and you look this up, it finds us. So we have a little bit more leeway. But that gives you an idea of how our thing works. Okay. A couple more questions. What do you got? I'm available for you. I see you. I see you smiling. I only see a couple of pictures. I see Tom. I see a guy in his gray sweatshirt. I see a girl in a red sweatshirt and a white shirt. And I see CV and I see AJ and everyone else just names. I'm going to call on you.
Hey, Chris, I have a question.
Yeah.
Earlier on in this presentation of yours, you talked about door knocking and targeting. I'd like to know, share with us a little bit about what you do to target door knocking.
Okay. So we do 2 types of door knocking. One is if I have a listing, we produce 300 note cards or I don't have anything here. It would be half the size. So if you see my hand, it'd be this big is roughly how big it would be. And it would say, open house, come visit, and we door drop it and knock on 300 homes. Okay, so that's just door knocking, but it's only for that listing that we have, or when they sell, we do the same thing. And we're trying to find sellers. We're not really trying to find buyers. So what are we doing in regards to target is you could do it on command, is if I do seller advertising, and the seller advertising through our Facebook or through Instagram or through whoever pulls up. Sometimes we get partial leads where it's just the address of the house. Someone's trying to find the value. And what we'll do is we will go and that person may be thinking about selling, right? So it's a seller lead that's targeted. So that person may be interested in selling. Hannah then puts it in her massive database. And then every day she pulls up a list. Hey, Chris, these are the 5 homes we're going to go door knock today. And she does a circle to make sure that we're staying within geographical areas of the valley. And we go and knock on it and we say, hi, this is Chris. This is Hannah. We run a real estate website that does property evaluations. And you inputted your address for this house to find out the value. And I want to let you know we're real people and want to see how we can help you in regards to your value of your home. And they kind of go, it wasn't me. I said, okay, well, somebody was looking at the value and we're real people. And so there's always an automated value and a real life value. So we want to come by as real estate agents to see if you're thinking about selling, or were you thinking of refinancing to get the value? And that's what we do. We don't even, they could say, don't ever come back here. Okay, well, when you were doing the valuation of your property, were you wanting it for a refinance or for a sale? Because I got to get past that Nordstrom. No, because they're going to be annoyed that I'm at the house anyway, but I'm annoyed I have to come to your house. So we're both annoyed. So if you're going to be irritated with me, I'm still going to ask you a bunch of questions because I wasted my time coming all the way down here. And guess what? Occasionally we get real estate agents and we show up at their house because they go in, they do their valuation and they go, ooh, shit, I don't want to do this. So they back out, but it keeps their address. And I come by and suddenly they go, hey, sorry, Chris. Yeah, it's me. And then I have to go by their house. So if that matters. So the target it is from a potential person who would be then considering selling. Probably if you did like that core fact where they tell you this is the highest probability of these people maybe wanting to sell, that would be also targeting where you're hitting people who have been in their houses for a long period of time as opposed to the whole neighborhood. Like say you live in, I grew up in Cupertino, went to Cupertino High School, and there are a lot of people who have owned their houses for 40 or 50 years. Maybe I door knock only those houses because those houses may be prime to become sellers eventually, as opposed to the newbies who may not want to sell, and that'd be a harder person to door knock. Hope that helps, Tom. Okay.
So, Chris, a follow-up question on that is, when you do targeted, then they are geographically not connected, right? So does that become more difficult then to just go, or do you select targeted lists that are close to each other?
Well, the Avengers have a Hulk and we have a Hannah. And what she does is she coordinates of all the 50 or 60 or 70 potential partial leads that are sellers that we're talking about. She'll keep them in geographical areas like West San Jose. And they have 5 or 6 or 7. So we can get through them in an hour and a half, as opposed to at the very beginning, we go to east side, south side, north side, everything. We would go everywhere. But as the business starts growing, we choose different subsets of the valley to go to. And we really just want to try and do it 1 hour a day, hop in the car, go do a couple, go have lunch and come back, because we can't do it the whole day because it's kind of draining, but we need to make sure that we add in that form of active lead follow-up on a daily basis in order to grow our business. It's like we have to, we have no choice. I mean, we have payroll. I have payroll. We have office expenses. We have, marketing expenses. We have database expenses. I can't sit around and do nothing. So
thank you.
All right. 2 more questions and I'll let you all go. Okay. How about from gray shirt, white shirt, or red shirt? Those are the only people I can see. You can even ask AJ a question about open houses. I'll make him answer. All right. No other questions, huh?
I have
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about email campaigns, and I've done email a lot, but I kind of get blacklisted because even if you have permission to send to someone, and then you've sent to them for a few months or even a year, and they change their minds about wanting to be on the list, all they have to do is hit that spam button in Gmail, and if enough people hit that, your email is blacklisted. Then when I sent email to regular clients, like I said, oh, let me send you the contract, and like, oh, I never got it. It's in your spam. So your email name can get easily blacklisted, even if you only send a couple hundred emails a month. How do you prevent yourself from getting blacklisted?
Everybody else want the answer to that question too? Okay. Subscribe to a service. I would assume do MailChimp or Constant Contact or
I
something.
do Constant Contact. It's
Okay.
all on Constant Contact.
Okay. So
And I still get blacklisted.
we use MailChimp, and we send out that 4,000 or 5,000 a month. But at the very beginning, we started small, 100, then 200, then 300, then 400, and kept going. And the emails need to have that ability to say unsubscribe, and that you're not bulk messaging, because they could, if they hit it's spam, the company can come back and say, look, there's an unsubscribe list. If they hit spam, you've got to immediately take them off of your list and so forth. So that may be a question that you ask directly to Constant Contact or MailChimp or whoever you're using, to ask them, why am I getting blacklisted from a mailing service I'm using through you? But that would be the biggest thing. I'm not sure if Hannah, is our MailChimp or Taylor, I think Taylor's on. Is our MailChimp sending through our Gmail accounts, or is it sending through MailChimp's own servers? Do we know?
MailChimp own service, Chris.
Okay. So MailChimp sends through its own service, so it's not my Gmail that's getting attacked, if that
So
makes sense.
we had an issue. We used Constant Contact first before MailChimp, and we actually had that issue. And that's when we switched over to MailChimp, and we sent a weekly email to like 3,000-4,000 people a week and have never had an issue. So it could be Constant Contact. I don't know,
Right.
but we switched over.
Okay, that's helpful. Yeah, 'cause I bet
Jenny,
that's what it is.
and Jenny just wrote in the thing that says, if you're sending a bulk, make sure the title has a huge impact, not like, hey, it looks spammy. You know what I mean?
Make sure it's specific. So if you
Yeah.
can include the contact name or something that is very, very specific, I think the email titles have a huge impact on the sort of credibility of the email that goes out. So if it looks like spam, they're going to rate it as spam.
Yeah. So in that 4,000 or 5,000 email, we got 6 or 7 or 8 unsubscribes. Okay. So it's a very low unsubscribe, and I had nobody saying spam, nobody clicking abuse, nobody clicking spam. We found that if you send it once every 3 or 4 or 5 months, a bulk email, you're going to get a lot of spam messages, and you're going to get a lot of people complaining about your email, because it's, who the F is this? Spam, spam, spam. But if you're sending consistently like Kohl's or consistently like Home Depot, they're going to realize, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to opt out. And if they opt out, no problem. I'm still going to call you. Right. But I don't have anybody, I can't remember in the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks that have ever clicked spam. I mean, it's a 4,000 or 5,000 database.
Yeah, and Chris, I don't know whether you guys do A/B testing or not. I've done some A/B testing on subject lines, and one group actually opens a lot more than the other, and that way you can test what subject lines work very well.
Okay, so sending the same email to half the group with yo, 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 and the other half saying, hi, how are you? And seeing which one open rate is.
Right.
Okay. All right, one more question. I'm letting you guys go. I need to go get some more coffee. My coffee is cold, and I'm out of Monster. Look at that. So I need something. Come on. One more question. Okay, well, while you guys are thinking that last question, so again, my name is Chris Holliston. Feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to help answer any questions. I'm from the Silicon Valley office of Keller Williams, and we have a team of 7. And again, it's myself, Hannah. You can see here is my business associate. She's my partner. She is a mad woman on the phone. You can tell her to call 15 people. She'll call all 15, and she has no fear. I have fear sometimes, but she will get on my ass to make sure I'm making my calls. Jenny is on the call. Jenny is our lead listing specialist, and she's like the super dynamic people person that can make everyone love her when she gets on the phone with them and talks to them in person. She's amazing connectors, high I personality, if you guys know the DISC profiles. We have Taylor on the phone, who is our operations manager. She's non-selling. She handles all of the day-to-day business. And we have 2 buyer's agents and a compliance manager who aren't on the phone. So your level of success isn't going to be how big you become. I managed a 350 agent office for 10 years. So I enjoy people, and I enjoy having people, and I enjoy helping build the lives and careers of people. So, but you being an individual agent and having success is just the same. You don't need to have a team. You don't need to grow to a team. You could be an individual agent, make a lot of money, and be just as happy. I just like having big teams because I'm such a social person. I need people around me so I could talk about what we did today and last week and whatever. And sometimes I got to remember to get myself back on task. So this is the only class that I'll be teaching in this Ignite session. And I appreciate you guys coming. It's a little harder to teach because I don't get any interaction. I don't get to see you. I can only see a couple of you in your faces. So feel free to shoot me an email. Our wonderful team leader is back on of our Gateway office. Hello.
You did such a good job. Didn't he do a good job, you guys? Hey, Chris, I don't know if you know this, but you had 46 people on the Zoom at one point. Great job.
Is that good? I don't know.
That is really good. That's our highest so far.
Oh, well,
It's about double what we've been getting. So great job.
Aw.
That's because
Right.
Chris is awesome and everyone knows that.
Oh, shut it.
Thank
I
you
got-
so much.
Jenny, I have a couple 20s for you later, okay? But thank you
Make
guys
it
for
rain.
showing. Now remember, this is the beginning of your day. Okay. Now you go out there and do your lead generation. Get it done now. Every morning, get it done before 11 o'clock in the morning so the rest of the day is easier. I know we learned a lot today, but I want you to tell me, shoot me an email about what type of lead generation you did today at the end of this class, by the end of today, and I'll respond back with what my thoughts are in regards to it. Now, of all those people who send me the emails, I'll draw one name will be drawn, and the person who, I know it's only for those that are left because you stayed here late, for those people that are left, and I'll do 1/2 hour on the phone with you about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, we want to talk about the Warriors, I could talk about that. But I mean, if we want to talk about real estate, I'll give you 30 minutes one-on-one time, but you have to tell me what you did today, lead generation, how many leads you got, and what you learned from today, not from the class, but doing the lead generation. As long as you do those 3 things, I'll draw one name. Our wonderful team leader in our Gateway office will announce who the winner is of the group, and I'll give you a 1/2 hour of my time to talk about whatever type of lead generation you want to talk about. I'll even make actually Hannah and I, sorry, Hannah, I'm pulling you in. Hannah and I will give you a 1/2 hour of our time. So
That's called a call to action. Very well done.
yep. Okay, everybody.
Thank
Well,
you.
Yep. Okay,
Thanks, Chris.
Have a
okay.
good day, everybody.
Okay, see y'all
Thanks,
later.
Chris.
Bye.